this is Danielle for RumBum.com. I'm here with John Vanderslice of John Vanderslice. What?
I'm a sole proprietor, baby.
I love the independence. So who writes all your songs?
Oh, this guy named John Vanderslice.
Ooh, he must be great.
Real tyrant.
Yeah. What is your process actually for writing songs?
Well,
stories.
It usually starts actually with like a narrative idea, with a story idea, and then I sit at my desk with a blank piece of paper, and I don't move until like I have like a song more or less started. And then once it's started, you can kind of like make your way through the song, but you have to really be disciplined to stay put, because what your animal mind is saying is, this is anxiety producing. Let's go, run. Let's go out and run in the fields. But you have to stay put for hours against your will.
This is maybe going to help me. You may have started me on my songwriting streak.
That's what songwriters.
Now I know the secret.
They always ask me, like, I have writer's block. I'm like, yeah, duh. Everyone has writer's block. Like, you have to like take a bulldozer to the process. It's not natural to sit and plumb the inner depths of your psyche over and over and over again, like 5 days a week.
And how do you avoid those feelings, like when I'm trying to write stuff, then I'm like, oh, that's dumb, and then I just...
Well, this is the thing with that, is that you can't pre-edit, because first off, it's totally inefficient. Like, you have no idea what's going to be a good idea later on in the end, because sometimes those dumb, like terrible and kind of like awkward ideas are the shining moments of your creative life sometimes, and you cannot root them out. And sometimes that stream of consciousness stuff that you think is like Kerouac level genius is absolute garbage. So you cannot prejudge. You can't. It won't get you anywhere.
How old were you when you wrote your first song?
My mom bought me a 4-track when I was 15, and I wrote a song on it the day that I got it. You know what? I still have the song.
Really?
I don't remember what it's called, but I still have it. And so check this out. This is a story I don't actually tell very often, but so I wrote this song and I recorded onto a cassette, and then the local like hard rock station, DC 101, which is still a huge commercial radio station in DC, they had this Sunday night 11 p.m. locals only show where they basically just like accepted like whatever, cassettes or whatever, you know? And so I sent in this song, and this was the first song that I wrote. Now probably there was like 4 people listening, but when I was 15, man, I mean, it's like they played it on the radio and I heard it.
Oh my God.
And it was the most euphoric. I've never matched that feeling, by the way, since. And that's
totally
okay.
Understand that.
But that's okay, because that's what started me like writing music. I couldn't, the feeling of hearing that on the radio was unbelievable.
So it's almost like you're chasing that feeling from that one first really incredible thing where you were recognized for your talent.
Well, that's what they say about drug addicts, that they're constantly chasing that first feeling of like really like being like super high. I don't know if I have no idea if that's true. I just saw it in The Wire, but you know, I've
heard that too. I think it is true.
It's probably is true, but the thing is that at least like we're chasing like good, you know, at least we're not killing ourselves, I guess.
Totally. Now, if you were to be in any movie musical from, you know, the 40s, what would it be?
And
why?
7 Brides for 7 Brothers.
And why?
Like, all the dancing's cool. If that's really the title of the movie, that's the one I would be in.
Who are you excited to see here? Do you have any chance to check out some of the shows?
Well, I hate to say it, but you don't. You're just back here, and you're not able to move. Bon Iver is next. I'm absolutely psyched to see Bon Iver, and then Decemberists are after we play, and then Ghostland Observatory. So I'm going to try to see some of all.
For Ghostland
it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited to see all those bands. I saw Grizzly Bear, which was great.
If you weren't a musician, what do you think you would be?
A pro basketball player. Like, absolutely. Forget that I'm 5'10". Okay, like.
You're really good.
I wouldn't. No, but forget that too. That's what I would want to be. But if I couldn't be that, which is probably true, then I would have probably been. You know, I would probably be like an internet person. Like, I love the internet. Like, I love like Tumblr, and I love like building websites, and I like the weird, you know, like dark corners of the internet and the goofiness that's just out there. I love it. So I'm sure I would either work, well, I live in San Francisco, so I would you know, I would probably have tried to get a job at Google, I'm sure. But if I didn't do that, I'm sure I would just have found my way into that world somewhere, you know, for sure.
And when you are not touring, what do you like to do?
Well, I have 2 kittens, and I live with my wife and my 2 cats, and I own a recording studio, so I'm often busy at home with the recording studio. So,
for other artists?
Yeah, and awesome. That's great. I love it. That's a fantastic. So when I'm not touring, I'm like dealing with the recording studio, or at home, I like gardening and cooking. Like we go to the farmer's market every week. I mean, I'm super domestic.
What are your musical influences?
I would say.
Is it more the world for you than other music?
I would say that there were some key bands starting out. I mean, the huge thing for me starting when I was like in 7th grade was David Bowie. Like all of the 70s Bowie stuff was huge, like really big. The Who were really big. The Kinks, really big. So like I was kind of in that era, like late 60s, early 70s English stuff. And then later like XTC and Echo and the Bunnymen, and then later it was like a lot of rap stuff, like KRS-One and Public Enemy and Schoolie D, and then it was like Pixies and, you know, like the stuff that it kind of like filtered through everyone, you know.
What do you think was like the turning point for you to getting to the next level?
Well, when I signed to Barstook Records was a big deal. That was huge because that was the first label I was on, and that was the first time that I had like other people advancing my music and like working on my music for me. It was incredible.
Is there anything you'd like to say to a fan or anybody who's reached out to you while you've been playing?
The communication and the connection that people, not just me, but that performers have with the crowd, like that is it. Like it really is completely meaningless without that connection. It doesn't work. It doesn't mean anything. It's that whole this whole relationship rests on that connection. So thanks for listening to music and for caring and for being passionate. It's huge.
Thank you for making music.
Thank you, Danielle.
And for coming to talk to us.
My pleasure.